We welcome you back to Bryant-Denny Stadium on the campus of the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Vern Lundquist, Todd Blackledge, Jill Arrington. This one of the great settings in college football, and a game to match this afternoon. 17-12 as we start the fourth quarter play. Play action, Green, right side, Gibson. He's with Herschel Bolden out there, and one-on-one. Big
huge
play.
Cushion, yeah, and a huge cushion. Bolden given a little bit too much respect to Gibson on that.
Todd, we talked a little bit about the heat. It was 89 degrees with 63% humidity. It's been debilitating down on the field.
Yeah, and we've seen some guys go off with cramps, and I really think in this last 15 minutes, whichever team's strength and conditioning program really kicks in is going to tell the winner. It's going to be the last one standing in this football game. A physical 15 minutes left, and Musa Smith has to be a big guy for Georgia.
Musa Smith. Yeah, that computer poll, Tim, and I remember I think they had Texas ranked 29th in the country, something like that. Here's Green. Comes to the near side. It is incomplete. And, of course, Todd, you've got some thoughts about polls and when they should be taking place.
Well, my personal opinion is there should not be any polls taken until the first week of October. I don't think you know enough about teams. You take a look at the AP top 10, and, you know, so much has been talked about this Georgia team, and I'll tell you what, Tennessee ranked number 10. A lot of times those rankings are more on potential and the kind of explosive players they have, but it's not based on production. I don't think before today that Georgia or Tennessee have performed like top 10 teams. Now Georgia today, I think, has stepped up to the challenge, and they have really answered some of the questions about this football team.
Alabama has taken a timeout. Stops the clock with 14:03 to go. Georgia Bear made the trip over from Athens. This team back at home against Tennessee next week at Sanford Stadium, and we'll be there for that one. A third down right now as Georgia clings to a 5-point lead with 14:03 to go. Musa Smith and J.T. Wall on either side of David Green, who will take this from the shotgun formation. 3rd and 10. 3 men down. Here they come for Alabama. Here comes a delayed blitz. Green has Damian Gary open inside the 25.
What a catch. Oh, and Damian Gary just made a bonehead move. You know, they get dog bones to put on their helmets for good plays. This was a bonehead move by Damian Gary. He makes a huge catch, reaches behind him, makes a great catch on a long 3rd down play, and then he gets up and he celebrates too much and he gets a penalty. You know, I mean, you don't need to do this. Oh, man.
Now look at the other side of it. He'll fulfill a lifelong dream of being on a highlight show.
I mean, I'm all in favor of letting guys enjoy the game and celebrate with their teammates and have fun. But I mean, when you take it too far on a play like that, I mean, you just hurt your team.
And there is a player down on the play. Taunting, unsportsmanlike conduct. Herschel Bolden is the injured player.
See, now if he just does this, they probably let it go. But he takes 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, and it's just unnecessary. I mean, again, let the guys have fun. You don't have to police that too stringently, but
Herschel Bolden, they'll take great care with him.
Yes.
Well, this has been a closely fought game. There was a big play earlier in the ball game. It was the 5-star play of the game presented by Wrangler, and here's the call from Larry Munson.
Corner, and Green comes back. They're coming up behind him. He doesn't see him. He throws a long pass to Fred Gibson, who caught the ball. He fell down, but he caught it on his back. Fred Gibson, a sensational catch down on the goal line with Madison, the corner with him. Caught a one-handed ball lying on his whatchamacallit, and Fred Gibson scored sliding in the end zone.
There's Larry Munson, 80 years old last week.
Crucial first down in there close.
Herschel Bolden still down on the field.
Quite close to the goal line, but now we're way out. Let's take a timeout here. Pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network.
Just a moment ago, Herschel Bolden was able to get to his feet unassisted and walk off. So a stinger, I would think.
Yeah, just had his head down and had a nice collision in there with Damian Gary and got his head down on it.
After the penalty on Damian Gary, it's first down from the 38-yard line. Here's Green going for it all to Terrence Edwards. In stride, touchdown Georgia. Anthony Madison, for the second time in this ball game, has been victimized.
Alabama chose to blitz. That means single coverage. Anthony Madison, this time on Terrence Edwards, and a perfect throw under pressure by David Green. You wait for your chances to go deep, and they waited perfectly that time.
Terrence Edwards, the second all-time leading receiver in the history of Georgia football, making amends for a disappointing junior year when he had more than a couple of dropped catches. That's his 5th catch today. 37 yards for the touchdown. David Green, Terrence Edwards, and Georgia has doubled up on Alabama 24-12. David Green, big touchdown toss. Terrence Edwards, 24-12. And
you could just see it in David Green's eyes all day today. I mean, look at this now. Today, 352 yards. Only one game over 300 before this, and that was against a 1AA team, Northwestern State. So, I mean, Georgia has answered some of the criticism today about their toughness, about their offensive explosiveness.
I would think probably the most relieved guy sitting over on that bench right now is Damian Gary.
Absolutely.
Here's Kerouac with the kick. High, short. And taken by Hudson out to the 31-yard line.
Well, here's what David Green sees. He sees these linebackers that are going to blitz, okay? So then he knows he's got one-on-one out here on the takeoff, and that's all he goes to. He knows he's going to get the blitz picked up. The line does a nice job giving him enough time to throw the deep ball to Terrence Edwards. Wait for your chances. Get the blitz, throw deep, go up by 12.
Now David Green with a reaction. And now shouting encouragement to his defensive teammates. 24-12 with 13:20 to go. Doyle pitches. Sean Williams up and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Yes, it was.
Mike Leach's team. You know, this is a big drive for Alabama, because if they don't score on this drive with 13 minutes left, they're taken out of their offense a little bit. They need to stay close so they can do their whole thing offensively.
Little pattern underneath. Coyle and Fulgham. I think that was a should have had. Brody Coyle, his second start as a redshirt freshman. He's thrown for 162. David Green, the sophomore, 214 yards.
The big difference. Last week he only completed 12 passes, but they were for 285 yards against Arkansas. Georgia has not given him the big throws today.
Collins split way out to the right side. Coyle on 3rd down out of the shotgun. Pumps, drills it. Sam Collins has it. And it's going to be a first down, Alabama, across the 50 at the 49. Sean Jones with the tackle.
Good protection up front. This is really not Alabama's forte. Straight drop back on 3rd down, but they give him good protection. Sam Collins finds a hole in the Georgia defense and makes the sure catch for the first down.
That's a gain of 15, a first down at the 49. And just under 13 minutes to go.
I keep thinking they're going to go back to that play action off the option soon, just because they've run the option enough to do it. We haven't seen that smoke draw much here either.
First down and 10 from the 49. Here's Coyle, fakes to Williams, goes to Williams, and
that's interference.
Clemens was interfering with him at the 25-yard line. Chris Clemens.
This is a tough task for Chris Clemens. He's 6'3", 240 pounds, out there on Sean Williams, out in space, and has no idea where the football is. And so all Shaw has to do is just kind of slow down and let Clemens run into him and draw the penalty. Yeah, that's tough. Now, Boss Bailey is a little more adept at that kind of coverage.
Right.
You know, he's a smaller, faster guy than Clemens is, and they isolated Clemens that time on Shawn Williams, and that didn't work out too well for him.
Now they'll reset the clock, and that is the 8th penalty on Georgia. Ball is marked off officially at the 34-yard line, just in between the 33 and the 34. Penalties 8 apiece. Collins breaks to the left. Backs will be in the eye. McLean is the fullback, and Santonio Beard is the tailback. Play action. Coyle, a lot of time, but good pressure coming from the backside. Now he is chased down by Jonathan Sullivan. Second down.
Good coverage downfield, and you watch the relentlessness of this guy in here, Jonathan Sullivan. Now, he just gets blocked. He's double teamed. He's out of the play. He keeps fighting. He finds the quarterback, and then watch him take off and run. Once he spots Brody Croyle. And Croyle's a fast quarterback, and Jonathan Sullivan just tracks him down.
Second sack of the ball game, and it is second down and 14. There's motion on the right side, and flags
Going backwards.
Negate the call. Dennis Franchione with a bemused look. Next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time, Tennessee at home against Arkansas tonight. Goes in to Athens to take on Georgia, and we'll be there next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time, as the Home Depot SEC is presented on CBS. Second down and 19. We can just visually throw it back to Tim Brando next week. He's getting a lot of airtime. Second down and 19, which he loves. Here's the blitz. Boss Bailey comes, and then he is blocked as Coyle gets rid of it. Bailey was right there.
It's about the third time, too, that we've seen Brody Croyle somehow get rid of the football. Avoid the sack, and not only get rid of it, but make a completion. They cross the linebackers, Gilbert and Bailey. Bailey comes unblocked, and just that little fake of the throw kind of threw him off a little bit, just enough to get rid of the football. And so he avoids another lost yardage play and makes it third down and just a little over 10.
Earlier today, Ole Miss knocked off Florida. Tonight, LSU at home against Louisiana Lafayette. South Carolina also a winner tonight, and Arkansas, Tennessee play this evening. 3rd and 10. Croyle fires to Shawn Williams. Darts out of the Boss Bailey tackle, struggles, fights for it, and has it.
Great effort and strength by Shawn Williams. That was well defended by Georgia. They made Brody Croyle throw underneath, and they had their best player, Boss Bailey, in position to stop it short of the first down. But Shawn Williams gets away from Boss Bailey, and he gets away from 3 more Georgia Bulldogs and gets the first down for Alabama.
That is the 6th catch for Shawn Williams, and it's a first down and 10 at the 21.
Georgia out of position on defense. I just raise up and throw the ball right to the slot receiver.
Option play to Ray Hudson. Cuts inside the 15, down at the 10, still struggling, and he's finally tackled at the 8-yard line. It might be the 7.
Georgia really looked out of whack on that play. They didn't have enough defenders over on the wide side of the field, and Alabama ran the option to that side, and Kentrell Curry, the strong safety, was really out of position. There he is, number 4, coming in late on the play, well after the first down was picked up.
A gain of 14 and a first down at the 7. 10:37 to go, clock running. Inside give. And a flag is thrown on the far side of the field as Greg McLean, the fullback, gets a rare carry.
Again, conditioning, strength and conditioning. The end of a very hot afternoon. Georgia's defense, you see the hands on the hips a little bit, the heads down. Drive like this takes a lot more out of a defense than it does offensive linemen. Offensive linemen, you know, they're not rushing the passer. Rushing the passer takes a lot more out of a defense than it does an offensive lineman. And right now, a little bit of fatigue setting in on the Georgia defense.
Offside against Georgia. Red zone, no touchdowns today. 3 times inside the 20. That's Fulgham in motion. They hand it off to Hudson. Isolation play to the right side. He's down to the 1-yard line. Rashad Williams, not Hudson. 21. And it will be second down. 9:58 remaining in this one. 24-12. Donald Clark, the tight end, tight to the left. That's Evan Mathis inside him, number 51. Fulgham again. Play action. Croyle coming right. Looks for his tight end. Leaps. Tries to break the plane and does. The line judge was right there. And there is a flag down.
I think it's going to be defensive holding against Georgia on the tight end who was trying to cross in front of the field. Donald Clark was crossing the formation and was held in the back of the end zone.
Holding on the defense. The penalty decline. Touchdown.
I think Brody Croyle completely shocked Bruce Thornton here by taking off. I mean, how many quarterbacks do this? Elevate from the 4-yard line and then get the football across the plane. Wow. The ground can't cause a fumble, and the ball came down first on the ground.
Extra point attempt by Brian Bostic. Good.
And they're just knocking dudes back on these extra points, though. I don't understand that. Alabama, they need to toughen up in there on the inside.
Are you suggesting to me that you never did that kind of a leap when you were at Penn State?
I don't know if Alabama's man enough to block the extra points.
The Pat Dye factor. John Croyle likes it all. Brody Croyle left his feet about 4 yards away.
Well, all the ball has to do is cross the plane, and you're going to see the nose of the football over the plane of the end zone and an Alabama touchdown. And Vern, who said white men can't jump? My man took off from the 4 right over Bruce Thornton. So important they scored on that drive because now they're right back in the game and their whole offense is available to them.
24-19. Here is Edwards at the 8. Chase to the right. Nice tackle. David Scott. Well, a game of emotions, not just for the players, but for the families here. John and Teresa Croyle, as their son breaks the plane. Remember the last Georgia touchdown, Rick and Kay Green? Their son David threw a touchdown pass.
Wow. I know my mom, that was tough for her, going to high school or college games and then going to pro games the next day and watching my dad coach. And tougher on the moms than the dads, I think.
Now you got about 82,000 fired up fans out of a full house of 84 plus. Here's Green, takes off, gets to the 30, cut down. America's most watched network. 2nd and 6 from the 30. Left side, Gibson almost dropped it. Picked off, intercepted by Charlie Peppra. And Peppra goes in, and Alabama has the lead.
Fred Gibson bobbled the catch, and Charlie Peppra just stole the football. Fred Gibson didn't catch it the first time, and Charlie Peppra came in and stole the football.
Charlie Peppra, born in Texas, the first in his family born in this country. His grandfather, Ike Achimpong, was the president of Ghana back in the 70s. He never knew his granddad. The family immigrated, and Charlie Peppra makes his presence felt with an interception return, a try for 2 forthcoming.
You can't fault David Green. I mean, he made the throw under pressure, and he put the ball where he needed to put it. But Fred Gibson just wasn't able to corral the football, and now Alabama going for 2.
3 wide to the right side. Collins split off to the left.
You go for 2 to make Georgia have to kick a field goal to tie the football game.
Option play. Croyle cuts back. This time he gets it again.
Oh,
No, they're going to say no.
Boy, I thought he stuck the football over the plane again, but maybe they said his knee was down before he reached the football. That was well defended by Georgia.
Now Kentrell Curry is heading the other direction, but
option to the right. It's stuffed up. Penetration by Georgia, and who's our guy? David Pollock there to stop him short of the goal line. He was down. Good call by the official.
time now for our Fidelity Investment scoring repack. Here's Musa Smith with the first score for Georgia. That was followed by a 47-yard field goal. Mike Ziefel and David Green. What a great catch this was by Fred Gibson. Held on to that ball. A touchdown toss to Dre Fulgham just before the half made it 14-9. A field goal just did get inside, made it 17-9, then 17-12 as Ziefel answered. And here was Terrence Edwards. Perfectly thrown pass from 37 yards out. Extends Georgia's lead. Croyle with the most athletic play of the ball game, diving in, breaking the plane. And then just moments ago, here was Charlie Peppra, redshirt freshman cornerback, took the ball away from Fred Gibson after it was bobbled, scored on the interception from 35 yards away. And it's 25-24 Alabama.
And can you believe it feels the momentum changing here? Alabama, their first lead in this football game with 8:24 left in the ball game. For the first time, Alabama on top.
Gibson, who had 3 fumbles in the 2 games prior to this one, could not hang on to that pass from Green, taken away by Peppra. Now Gibson tries to make amends on the kickoff return, and he's going to do just that. Out near the 40-yard line before he is knocked down. Well, earlier we heard Larry Munson call a touchdown on the radio for Georgia. How about Eli Gold of Alabama, that last interception by Charlie Peppra.
2nd and 6 from the 30. Green throws near side, bobbled, stolen by Alabama's Peppra. Charlie Peppra steals it out of the hands. He'll run it back to the near side. Touchdown Alabama! Touchdown Alabama! A 32-yard swipe and the run back for a touchdown.
Well, he's a good friend and a grand man. Eli Gold.
8:12 to go.
First down and 10. Musa Smith. Just think about how significant emotionally that touchdown was by Brody Croyle.
The biggest reason that touchdown was so big at that time is it meant that Alabama didn't have to get into a catch-up or a hurry-up mode on offense. They could stay within their game. Good coverage downfield by Alabama.
And let's go down and spend a moment with Jill Arrington.
Well, Vern, talk about this Alabama team personality. Coach Fran told us that they have fun practicing, they have fun playing. Todd, you saw that energy on the practice field. The coach said the offensive and defensive line sets the tempos in the games. They aren't playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're just playing for the enjoyment of being a team and getting on that field and playing some football to leave a good legacy as a special Alabama team.
Well, that T-shirt you saw spells out SWAT. That was on Tyler Watt's T-shirt. Special, we're all together is what it stands for in this NCAA sanctioned period of time. Here's Damian Gary with the catch. That's good for a gain of 10. This is a special "We Are Together" SWAT.
I wasn't sure whether we were supposed to know that or not. You know, it's kind of one of those secret code deals.
Right.
We broke the code, and now it's out. They may have to come out with a new acronym now.
Good sleuthing, my man.
Thank you.
1st and 10. 1-point ball game. Tony Milton goes right across the 40 to the 38-yard line. 7:10 to go. All right, Tim, and they trail by 1 at the moment. 2nd down and 3, 6:40 to go.
David Green has made a couple big-time throws in this drive, showing great poise.
Comes the rush from the corner. Brooks Daniels, number 18.
Unblocked. They brought him off the edge. I don't know if this was a miscommunication by Georgia or not, but nobody blocked Brooks Daniels. Here he is right here, and he's just going to come unblocked. Nobody there for him. No back end to block. The line was turned the other way, and David Green, if he knows that's not protected, he's got to get rid of it because it's coming right at him.
That brings up a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9 officially.
What a huge sack by Brooks Daniels. Georgia moving. They've got some momentum on this drive, and now they've got 3rd and long.
Under 6 to play. Bulldogs do have all 3 of their timeouts left. Here comes the blitz. Green steps up. He'll scramble. Now he pulls up and lets it go, and it is incomplete at the 35. Intended for Reggie Brown. Charles Jones defending.
Well, David Green thought about running for a moment, and then he thought he could stick it into Reggie Brown, but alertly, Charlie Jones able to get his hand on the football and knock it away. Again, the improved play of the Alabama secondary this year has made a big difference for the Tide.
Jonathan Kilgo on to punt. Sean Williams awaits it at the 10.
And Kilgo right now is thinking, okay, I've seen Zeifel do it. I don't want to let Sean Williams return this. I want to knock this out of bounds down around inside the 10-yard line.
Comes the rush. Flags are down. And bring this one back. Dead ball foul.
Got a lot of penalties, haven't we?
Yes.
This feels like there's been a lot of laundry on the field today.
Prior to the snap, false start, movement in the offensive line, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That's not all that terrible for Georgia. I mean, unless they had a fake in mind, I don't think they would have, but that's not all that terrible to back them up 5 more yards and give Kilgo a little bit more room to go ahead and kick it. That was the 19th penalty in the game, and 10 of those belonging to the Georgia Bulldogs.
Kilgo again for the 5th time. Williams moves up to the 10-yard line. He heads left. Bounces. Nice punt.
Yep, nice kick.
5:27 to go in this one. And time for today's Home Depot Scholar Athlete. Today's selection, Kenny King of Alabama. He has a 3.23 grade point average in marketing. Home Depot's commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the University of Alabama's Scholarship Fund.
Now the big question right now for Dennis Franchione and Les Koenig, how much pressure do we put on our redshirt freshman quarterback, Brody Croyle? Because we don't want to just try to kill the clock here and sit on it and give Georgia the ball back in good position. Ideally, you'd like to move the football and not be totally conservative, but do you do that with a young quarterback?
Hand off to Santonio Beard, and Boss Bailey is there to make the tackle. Let's take you back to 1994. In the 94 game, a second half explosion by the Alabama defense and offense led by Jay Barker. The Tide narrowly came away with a 29-28 victory thanks to Michael Proctor's 32-yard field goal with just over a minute left in that game. It wound up 29-28, extending an undefeated string for Alabama at home in Tuscaloosa against Georgia.
Jay Barker threw for 276 yards all in the second half.
Second down play. Here's Croyle. Dances up, heads right, tackled and dropped. Stop is made by David Pollock. Still 4:38 to go and a 3rd down.
David Pollock, the beneficiary of his bookend, Will Thompson, because Thompson is the guy that flushed Brody Coyle out of the pocket, and Pollock gets the tackle.
3rd and 15. A 1-point game. 4:10 remaining.
Georgia gets a stop here. They're going to get good field position, and they have all 3 of their timeouts left. Big 3rd down play for Georgia right here.
Coyle under pressure, gets loose, comes by Jonathan Sullivan, and is out of bounds. That does 2 things. It forces Alabama to punt, and it stops the clock.
This is what Brody Coyle sees. He sees Tony Gilbert coming on a blitz, and he's been after him all day. He gets away from him, and you know, the Alabama coaches told us that even though Tyler Watts is known as a runner, that Brody Coyle is actually a little faster than Tyler Watts. He showed a little speed on that play.
Now let's go back to one of the points we made at the onset of the day. Special teams, kicking game. Lane Bearden out. Ziefel has done a great job, but Damian Gary is oh so dangerous, and he waits the 50-yard line. The snap is back for Ziefel, and this one not terribly effective.
Got away from him, went to the middle of the field.
Here's Gary inside the 35 to the 33-yard line.
I think that ball went off the side of his foot. He was trying to kick it left, and I think that ball went off the side of his foot and ended up in the middle of the field, right where he didn't want it. I mean, they've directional kicked the whole day, and he lined up like he was going to kick it to the left sideline. He's looking left. Watch the ball hit his foot. Now, the ball didn't go where he lined up to kick it. Let's put it that way.
3:45 to go. Ziefel looks on. Billy Bennett's career longest field goal is 47 yards. They need about 5 or 6 to get him in that spot. Here's a reverse that is faked, and Musa Smith heads left and gets down to the 25-yard line. Cornelius Wortham makes the tackle. Time now for our CBS Sportsline stat of the game. The Crimson Tide's second half defense, 2 sacks, 1 interception. Charlie Pepper returned it for a touchdown, and a total of 172 yards allowed. Get complete game stats at CBSSportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Billy Bennett won a game earlier this year, a clutch 43-yard field goal against Clemson. He struggled in the offseason, but has hit 4 of 5 so far this year, including that kick against Clemson. Here's the toss to Smith. J.T. Wall with the block, and Smith to the 24-yard line.
If you're Mark Richt, particularly if you get a first down right here, I think you're thinking touchdown. I mean, you got confidence in Billy Bennett, but a touchdown is even better, because then that means Alabama has to score a touchdown to win the football game. So I think right now that Georgia and Mark Richt is thinking, hey, I've got 3 timeouts. My quarterback's been in big ball games before. He's led us into victory on the road in close games.
And David Pollock has come in as a blocking back, the defensive end. This is not an unusual formation. They'll go with the power I now on 3rd and 1.
He was recruited to Georgia originally as a fullback.
Musa Smith.
Got it.
That will give them time and a fresh series of downs. Now this Georgia team is undefeated on the road under Mark Richt. And they have come from behind to win 4 games in all. Tennessee last year on the road, and then 3 at home. Kentucky, Georgia Tech, Clemson this year.
I guess you have to qualify that a little bit. They're undefeated in an opposing team's home stadium, because they did lose to Florida and Jacksonville last year. But that's even more impressive, to go into places, someone else's home stadium, and beat them.
That's why I keep you around. Clarification. Toss left. Smith inside the 20. And down at the 17-yard line, Anthony Bryant, number 97, makes the tackle.
Right now they're running, and they're kind of gashing the Alabama defense. Now would be a nice time if Mark Richt is so inclined to take a shot at the end zone. And you tell your quarterback, if we do that, if it's not there, throw the thing away. Let's not lose the opportunity to kick the game-winning field goal.
All 3 timeouts left. 2nd down and 6. I formation. Wall, the blocking back. Musa Smith, the tailback. They'll give it to Musa Smith. He keeps it in the center of the field, and that brings up a 3rd down with 49 seconds to go. Time call. Alabama uses the timeout. Billy Bennett, the junior place kicker, grew up in Athens, hoping for a chance now to give his university a victory, come from behind on the road at Bryant-Denny Stadium. But first, a 3rd down play. Musa Smith, the deep back, is a quarterback keeper. They'll keep it right in the middle of the field, and it appears now that it's going to be on the foot of Billy Bennett, and it would be a 32-yard field goal effort. But first, a timeout.
Alabama, for them, uses their last timeout.
42 seconds to go. Field goal forthcoming. .42 seconds to go. Georgia's on the road. They trail by 1. And their field goal kicker is trotting onto the field.
And keep your eye on Antoine Odom, number 98 for Alabama, and Wayne Bacon. They both have blocked field goals this year for Alabama. Wayne Bacon against Oklahoma, and Odom against North Texas. Odom, a tall, rangy defensive end, will probably try to get up in the air right in the middle of the pack.
Brian Jordan will snap it. Jonathan Kilgo will hold it. Billy Bennett will attempt it. Georgia has never won in Tuscaloosa, but they have now reclaimed the lead.
Rock solid there, boy. That ball got up quickly. No chance of it being blocked. And dead down the center.
Billy Bennett from 32 yards away. Georgia leads by 2. Bennett knocks it home from 32 yards away with authority. And it gives Georgia a 2-point edge. Boy, he was confident, wasn't he?
He sure was. I mean, going on the field during the timeout, never a doubt in his mind. I mean, my man was mugging to the camera before he went out there. I mean, it was never in doubt in the mind and the heart of Billy Bennett. You got to remember, too, Alabama, they're going to look back on this game if, in fact, they go down here, and remember that they had some breakdowns and some chances for points. They had a blocked field goal. They missed an extra point. Then they had to go for 2 on an extra point and missed that, and they had a touchdown called back.
And Dennis Franchione said to us yesterday afternoon, I hope we can stay even in the kicking game. They haven't.
No, they haven't.
27-25, Alabama is out of timeouts. This will be Hudson at the 1. And he's spilled as he gets near the 30-yard line. So Brody Croyle and the Crimson Tide takes the field again.
I'm so impressed by the poise of David Green on that last drive, too, and the poise by Mark Richt on the sideline, because they had all 3 of their timeouts in their back pocket, and they didn't use any of them, and they forced Alabama to use all their timeouts as they just kind of got closer and more to the middle of the field to set up the game-winning field goal. They didn't panic, and they made Alabama burn all their timeouts. So now Brody Croyle, with 32 seconds left, down by 2, has no timeout, so he's got to work the sidelines. I think that guy right there answered the call today. David Green has been criticized the last couple weeks, played well.
Here's Croyle, intercepted. Picked off on the far side by Thomas Davis. And this one's going to go to the Bulldogs of Georgia. Croyle drilled it to the wrong man.
When a defense knows that you don't have any timeouts, they know you're going to also try to throw towards the sideline. So you set your coverages to defend the sidelines. And you're going to watch as Brody Croyle goes back. They're going to give you stuff in the middle of the field, and they're going to squeeze on the outside. And Thomas Davis there for the pick. I would guess a little victory formation right now for the Georgia Bulldogs. And you can't say enough about this Georgia football team and the way they responded. I mean, people were really questioning them and questioning whether they deserved to be ranked as highly as they were. And today was a great opportunity to shut people up. And you know what? They did. And they got another chance to do it next week at home against Tennessee.
David Green, the Georgia Bulldogs.
The only remaining unbeaten team in the Southeastern Conference.
And they go to 5-0. There's his dad, Rick, and his mom, Kay. And the Georgia Bulldogs are 5-0 for the first time since 1982, which, not so coincidentally, was the last time they won an SEC championship. Some guy named Herschel Walker was around.
Pretty fair player.
Billy Bennett, field goal from 32 yards away. David Green, our player of the game. 15 of 27, 224 yards. Great presence.
Yes.
In the last quarter of play. And let's go down on the field. Jill Arrington's with Mark Richt.
Coach Rick, congratulations. This is the first time Georgia's ever beaten Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
What statement does this say to the conference about the toughness of your team?
I don't know. I think the one thing about this team since I've been here is they won't quit. And that's the one thing I told them throughout the week. One thing I know you won't do is quit. And they didn't. I'm just so proud of every one of them. Great team effort and just very thankful.
Through all the ups and downs and the momentum swings throughout the game, are you pleased with the consistency of your offense?
Well, it was pretty good. It was so much better today. We still had a couple picks, and that hurt us. But other than that, we did pretty good.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Vern, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jill. And I can only assume that somewhere in this state, Pat Dye was watching. He inadvertently or vertently became a part of the story in this game. The Georgia Bulldogs come from behind. They win it by 2. First victory ever in Tuscaloosa. For Jill Arrington, Todd Blackledge, and our entire CBS crew, I'm Vern Lundquist. Tim Brando along with scores and highlights after this.